Welcome to this presentation focused on giving you an introduction to having the freedom to speak up and also the role of professional midwifery advocates. If you've not yet worked in the UK or are new to working in the UK, these may be unfamiliar terms, so stay with me and all will be explained. Our learning objectives for this session include gaining an understanding of what exactly we mean by having the freedom to speak up, and also to understand who and what a professional midwifery advocate is, how they can help you in your practicing of midwifery here, and we'll look in a little into one of the measures that they use called restorative supervision. Okay, so let's get into it. What is having the freedom to speak up? In general, it's the idea that you should be able to tell somebody if you have any concerns about the care service you have previously or are currently providing. There has been an implementation of this principle with what's known as the Freedom to Speak Up campaign. An outside organisation, the National Guardian's Office, are at the helm of this. They define what we are talking about as anything which gets in the way of giving good care. When things go wrong, we need to make sure that lessons are learnt and things are improved for the future. It's important that every individual feels able to speak up to stop potential harm. Now, anyone who works in healthcare can speak up. Also, patients themselves can express concerns and suggest improvements to their local patient advice and liaison service, or PALS. So why would you speak up and what can you speak up about? Now, it could be anything that you feel is getting in the way of providing good care. So, like a specific way of working, or a process, or a behaviour or attitude of others. It might be something that's impacting your own well-being, or other colleagues, or the patients that you're looking after. Now, anything that doesn't feel right, or which you can see may lead to harm, needs to be spoken up about. How would you do this? It could take many forms, so it could look like just having a conversation initially with your line manager. Possibly there's a staff suggestion scheme at your own trust. You might wish to raise the issue with a freedom to speak up guardian who's able to support you in speaking up, helping to ensure that your organisation provides a response to the matter that you raise. You may also bring an issue to the attention of a regulator, such as the Care and Quality Commissioning Group or NHS England and Improvement. If you have worries about the conduct of another member of staff, you may wish to take your concerns to the Nursing and Midwifery Council. You can raise concerns anonymously, confidentially, or openly. What matters most is that your voice is heard. Whistleblowing. Now, speaking up and whistleblowing are often used as terms interchangeably, one or the other. Both terms cover a wide range of legal and ethical issues. However, whistleblowing often has the negative connotations of speaking out, which can be a barrier to speaking up. You should always have the freedom to speak up about anything, something that doesn't feel right, or an idea for an improvement. You should feel confident that you will be listened to and an action will be taken. Now, from your local trust management perspective, there should be 5 steps in managing the speaking up process. So, firstly, something is recognised as wrong, either has caused harm or has the potential to cause harm. Secondly, the person recognising this has to then speak up and let someone know. Thirdly, what should happen is an acknowledgement of the concern. The person should be thanked for raising it and assured that the concern will be looked into. Now, this might be within a department or the wider division of the trust, or you might confide instead in your trust's freedom to speak up guardian. Fourth step of this process, after having looked into the concern as a whole, there should be an initiation of some action to remedy any risk and concern. This might involve system processes being reviewed or staff being informed of something that is going wrong, and finding ways to improve the service and the care. And lastly, in this process, the support to the staff, and particularly the staff member who initially raised the concern, this should be provided at every stage of the process. So, if you don't know who your local guardian is yet, get to know their name and their contact details, because you or your colleagues might wish to speak up through a guardian at some point down the line. Okay, so moving topic slightly to describe a specialist role within midwifery, a professional midwifery advocate. Now, these people will also be excellent people to confide in when you wish to raise a concern, because they can help with a multitude of avenues of support too. So, professional midwifery advocates are experienced midwives who have undergone additional training to enable them to support the practice and professional development of midwives. PMAs support and guide midwives so they can deliver consistent, high quality, safe maternity care. They also support the women and families who journey through the local maternity service, and by listening to women and supporting the choices that they make, PMAs ensure that the maternity care provided is responsive and caters to their needs. So, in terms of what they are able to do to provide support for service users, you will find that they work with the local Maternity Voices Partnership to ensure women's experiences of maternity services are listened to. You'll find they also act as a resource to assist discussions with women and midwives when the service users themselves are faced with a situation where they feel they need further support and advice. And often they'll be the ones to provide a birth reflections or listening service, which may include reflecting on a recent pregnancy or wanting to talk through a previous experience. PMAs can answer any questions that arise and follow up any issues that will improve the service. So, the NHS in England produced guidance for the role of PMAs in supporting midwives and women and came up with the acronym AEQUIP, standing for Advocating for Education and Quality Improvement. This model provides the framework for PMAs to deliver support and clinical supervision to midwives on the basis of facilitating continuous improvement. So they aim to build personal and professional resilience whilst enhancing quality care. Valuing of the midwife. When midwives are being invested in, supported, and recognised for their good work, this is known to influence reduced stress levels and burnout and can increase job satisfaction and improve working relationships. Enhanced health and well-being. Our health and well-being is associated with the improved outcomes and experiences of the people in our care. Building personal resilience. Through the creation of thinking spaces where midwives can process, discuss, reflect, gain open and honest feedback. This restores our working capacity and it allows for the contemplation of others' different perspectives. And lastly, here we have supporting preparedness for appraisal and professional revalidation. So these conversations, our self-leadership can be explored, how we interact with others, how we are able to influence others, influence change, and how we ourselves can improve care. These conversations can all increase self-awareness and our own self-confidence. So the local job title and selection of PMAs is employer-led, that being the responsibility of your own director of midwifery or head of midwifery locally. So those given the title may be given time away from their normal duty to facilitate the role, and often there is a lead PMA for whom the responsibilities we've discussed becomes their primary role. Now, to become a PMA, a midwife must successfully complete a PMA preparation program provided by a higher education institute, so it's a university program. Importantly, the PMA role doesn't include regulatory matters, so anything concerning investigations, imposing interim orders, the monitoring of local programs, or referrals to the NMC. However, on a preparation course, you could expect to cover midwifery legislation, the development of the midwifery supervision historically, clinical and peer supervision basics for midwives, as well as restorative clinical supervision. And we're going to learn about that in a second. The Nursing and Midwifery Council define restorative clinical supervision as a recognised, structured process that facilitates the opportunity for practitioners to explore and reflect on personal and professional experiences in a safe, supportive environment with the aim of continually developing the quality of patient care. So patient care is at the helm of all of this. Now, that was very wordy. In essence, what we are talking about is an evidence-based tool which is designed to help midwives feel valued, recognise their personal strengths and challenges, and help them in finding ways to progress as clinicians. So this tool can be made use of with individuals or as a group, and it can just be really helpful to help people make sense of and process their thoughts with another person. This will enable them to view things from different perspectives. Now, the benefits for you as a midwife in engaging with this process of restorative supervision include you having some protected time, so away from your usual working environment, to reflect on your physical and emotional health, time to reflect on things that contribute both positively and negatively. It will also provide you a safe and confidential space to explore the impact of work pressures, and hopefully you will feel safe and enabled to do so honestly and freely. It gives you an opportunity to discuss the challenges faced and new ways of working. Again, having the time to sit down with your colleagues and talk about matters that have arisen within your unit will be so beneficial. It gives you time out to reflect on your work and life balance, and it gives you a chance to explore your feelings, concerns, or worries, and having someone there trained in listening and actioning if necessary, making you to feel heard. Someone else is then going to challenge your ideas and your ways of thinking, which helps improve outcomes. It's a way in and of itself to help reduce your stress levels. It's an opportunity again to encourage and enhance good working relationships, both within your team and with the people that you're looking after. You may also find that you learn some clearer ways of thinking and ways to make improvements to your general well-being and thus the service that you provide. Now, aside from clinical supervision, you may also find a PMA helpful in facilitating a number of other focused discussions. So you might wish to seek advice on any innovative ideas that you have, how to get help in implementing those ideas. A PMA will also be happy to assist you in either directly themselves or finding someone else that you could have a mentor relationship with. You may also need a slightly more professional coaching relationship to help you find ways of dealing with work-related stresses or how to move up on the career ladder, for example. They could also be helpful to invite along to just your team meetings. They are well practiced in encouraging a supportive and listening environment. They might be useful in facilitating a peer discussion if, for example, you feel that you need to have a more difficult conversation or you're anticipating that other members of staff might not listen or respect what you have to say. And finally, if not themselves, they should be able to signpost you to someone else in order that you gain specialist advice on something that maybe they feel they're not able to help you with. So all in all, you will definitely also want a list of names of the professional midwifery advocates within your trust, and you'll most likely get to know them pretty quickly as they assist you with finding your feet in this new setting. Now, here's a list of the references used to create today's presentation. Please do take a look and read a little more into both of these important topics, and do make those inquiries about who your freedom to speak up guardians and your professional midwifery advocates are in your trust. As usual, please do let us know if you have found this video helpful, and comment below if there's another topic that you feel would be particularly beneficial. We hope you enjoyed today's session, and thank you so much for watching.